And we asked for more news, and Coronation Street has given us some more news. This is a video talking about Coronation Street, as a Metro article has highlighted that one of Coronation Street's most beloved characters is to be killed off in a harrowing storyline. Most importantly, let's underline this, which kicks off in 2025, Metro can exclusively reveal. Now, you may be thinking, which Corrie legend 40 years after debut could it be? Could be a decent chunk of characters. Now, I'll break the tension immediately. It is Sue Devaney, who plays Debbie Webster, who initially played her back in 1984. Now, let me just say, first and foremost, this is likely a part of Kate Brooks taking over as executive producer, and she did a good couple of social issues. She did Marlon's stroke, and I do think this will be handled very delicately, but this is like just like how Emmerdale has been cutting some characters, this is likely going to be a part of the cast cull, which will obviously happen whenever a new executive producer takes over. So this is likely going to be one of her big major storylines. That will be a pretty important one to show, and one that is another, I made a joke about it for sure. There have been a lot of long-running storylines that Coronation Street has announced, but this one does genuinely deserve the long-running aspect of it. Not that we really know, but all we know is that it kicks off in 2025. She'll likely die sometime in 2026 or 2027, depending on how detailed and graphic you want the Dementia storyline to go. So I'll read the article. Viewers will see the character diagnosed with dementia in the coming months with a long-running storyline than planned, which promises to be heartbreaking. It's one of the show's biggest storylines of the year, and a real chance for Sue to finally get a time in the spotlight. It'll be just as devastating for fans. That will effectively be her final storyline. It's one of many major new storylines that new boss Kate Brooks is in the bag, and there will not be a dry eye in the house. There is no doubt in the Corrie family that she'll give a performance of a lifetime and make Debbie's exit one to remember for years. Metro understands that the storyline has a very long way to play out, and so will be on our screens beyond 2025. When I approached Corrie for comment, they said, "We do not comment on future storyline speculation." Sue first appeared as then 15-year-old Debbie 40 years ago and stayed for a year before making an unexpected comeback in 2019. She returned as ruthless property tycoon, working alongside shady Ray Crosby to carry out a controversial development. After making enemies in Weatherfield, Debbie was a pariah for some time, but has since rebonded with brother Kevin Webster and runs a glam Chariot Square hotel. With viewers often calling for more screen time with Debbie, would no doubt be with more mixed feelings as they see her propelled to the centre of the drama next year. Sue is also known for impeccable comedy timing in her delivery of Debbie's many iconic lines. It comes amid the imminent exit of another Corrie legend, with Helen Worth leaving her role as Gail Black after half a century. Promising a warm but chaotic Christmas Day ending for Gail, incoming producer Kate, known for his success on Emmerdale, told us, "This is a story with the Platts at the heart of it. It's really festive. It's a story about how secrets impact and implode on a family, so there's a lot of betrayals. And a lot of secrets are exposed during this episode. I think we all need a bit of escapism at the minute, but we've had quite a dark but a brilliant few months on the cobbles." Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. The Christmas period for us all is about trying to tap into the family dynamic of the Platts, which makes people tick, and ultimately trying to make sure we give the glorious Gail the exit she deserves. You can't tell a story on Christmas Day about our exit without being steeped in nostalgia, and there's tons of that in this episode. Hopefully people will be crying, they'll be laughing, there'll be gaffes, and people will sit back afterwards and feel that was just what they needed. And I suppose just to put a finer point on it, I think Sue Devaney has kind of stepped up as a bit of an MVP of Coronation Street in the last couple of years. When she was reintroduced, she was a bit more reintroduced with more of an edge and a bit less likable as such. But through her relationship with Ryan, through her relationship with Ronnie, they've somewhat molded down the character and still kept the comedic timing while not making it too much of an impactful one. I think she'll be missed, and I think it's a a casualty of the writing that she will be leaving, and it does suck, but I mean, look, Kevin Webster or Debbie haven't necessarily been that big of a character overall, and it's not like a bad thing. I think it's perfectly fine that she would, but it does suck that she is being axed. But she's 57. How many more big storylines, and if any big storylines, was she ever necessarily going to get? As said before, Kevin is kind of not even really a focal character in his storylines at this point. And it'll be interesting to see the family around her, because she doesn't really have a lot of family, and they never really have. It's been Kevin, Sally. I guess Sally will be involved. It'll be Kevin, it'll be Abby, it'll be... I'm so blanking on fucking... Debbie. It'll be Debbie, it'll be Kevin, it'll likely be Ronnie, it'll be some of the Baileys, it'll be Ryan, and will likely be Kevin, Abby, Jack. So, like, the scope of how many people it's probably going to affect isn't going to be that great, but it's also, this is one of the first times that Coronation Street has announced a long-running storyline, and it's like, okay, fair enough, this is reasonable, this is actually a really important thing, and I am glad that they will be giving it the time that it deserves. And it will be interesting to see how they go ahead and show it. I think it'll be a really impactful storyline, and I do think it will leave a really big impression on a lot of people as a Coronation Street fan, and it will add that grittier, kind of darker edge that it sometimes needs, and in this era likes to have. It sucks that she will be gone, but I think that it will be a very impactful and important storyline as and when it happens. So the first time in a while that Coronation Street has announced something new, and it's actually quite reasonable and appropriate. Full credit to them. But as this has only been 7 minutes, and there's a little bit more, there was another article that people were talking about that I feel like it's probably time to talk about, as Kate Oates was the EastEnders one. Kate Brooks has been talking to the press about the Coronation Street stuff ahead of Gail Platt's exit, and it's mostly a lot about the Platt stuff, but you know, Lisa and Carla, and Nick and Leanne and Toya, and Gail Platt's exit, as well as the love triangle that they think is Mike, Deirdre, and Ken, but it's really not that either. After a year of murder, tragedy and agony, the residents of Coronation Street, not to mention the fans, are hoping for a bit of respite from it all. And the popular show's brand new boss may have some good news for us all. Incoming producer Kate Brooks, known previously for her award-winning work on Sister Soap Emmerdale, taking the reins at Weatherfield and fully embraced her bigger responsibility, writing out Cobble's stalwart Gail Platt on Christmas Day. Easier said than done. You'll be glad to know that our beloved Gail won't be killed off, and Kate promised a festive season that is fun and lively, but with a lot of bombshells dropped. What Kate insists is that she wants to tap into classic Corrie with a modern twist, as the frolics will centre on Gail's wedding to Jesse Chadwick. Kate on Gail's exit. This is a story with the Platts at the heart of it. It's really festive, she told us. It's a story about how secrets impact and implode on a family, so there's a lot of betrayals, and a lot of secrets are exposed during this episode. I think we're all in a bit of a need of escapism at the minute, and we had quite a dark but brilliant few months on the Cobbles. The Christmas period's about as trying to have enough family dynamics of the Black. We've already mentioned this earlier. Does not say there won't be some Acts 2 for Gail's relatives. There's much more pressing matters at play. David and Shona's marriage is hanging by a thread, while Bethany continues to struggle following the botched cosmetic surgery. As conflicts erupts, Kate has admitted that Gail is oblivious as bombs go off around her, until she makes some discoveries that leaves her questioning everything she's done in a final hurrah for the character that is sure to keep people talking. Kay continued, I'm devastated that Gail's leaving because she's so iconic, but I think that label gets bandied around quite readily. But it's Gail, 50 years she's been on the street. It was really important to make sure that her departure felt really fitting and keeping in character with who she is as a character. Kate on Carla and Lisa. It's not just a Platfest though. Coronation Street will also be platforming Weatherfield's newest power couple. Now that Carl O'Connor and D.S. Swain are in a relationship, Kate confirmed with us that other locals will begin to find out about the pairing. Also, I will say, I did watch the kiss that Carla and Lisa had. I gasped. You know, I'm not like a big fucking, like, gay relationship anymore. I used to be, but I did genuinely audibly gasp and like fucking, oh. Carla initially flinches a little bit at the idea of people gossiping. It's not about sexuality, but she's just a bit unsure, she explained. But once she realises everyone is absolutely fine about it, then it's all systems go. So Christmas will be when they fully commit to each other. When they declare how they feel for each other, and when they stop circling each other and touching each other's hair. Of course, this is just the beginning of Kate's tenure. It isn't clear that her talking that plans bursting with plans, many of which we aren't allowed to reveal quite yet. While Christmas promises to be fuzzy, festive and funny and fall in 2025, it'll also bring a lot of high-octane drama. Kate on Bethany and Daniel. Nothing like a messy love triangle in soap, and things are going to get more complicated as Daniel finds himself torn once more between Bethany and Daisy. Hold on. And back. Daniel is in love with two women, and not many people can pull it off, but if anybody can, Barlow can. And he is absolutely torn over what to do for the best. He wants to be with Bethany, but sometimes when you make a little mistake, things come back to bite you and bite you on the bum. Super exciting as we wonder what the heck Daniel is going to do and how he gets out of this hole. What I love about it is there are no good guys or bad guys, and it's just these three people have found themselves in this situation. They want to find their own happiness, but it comes at a cost. With Daniel doing something he regrets, there'll be plenty of twists and turns. Kate assured us it's going to get quite out of hand. Right, just two more. We're nearly done, don't you worry. Kate on David and Shona. Having betrayed Shona by interfering with her contact with jailed son Clayton, David's very much in the doghouse with her this Christmas. But if we thought things were going to get bad between them, it's now about to get much worse, with fresh betrayals and angst sending the couple crashing to the rocks. Kate said David has made huge mistakes in hiding visiting orders from Clayton. This goes on to have massive consequences, and Shona hits that self-destruct behaviour. She makes some really terrible judgment calls, but what is important for me is that David and Shona is that they can both really mess up, but they have love that is so strong. But can they overcome all this? I can't say. We've seen David hit rock bottom a number of times. When Shona recovers her volatile edge, she is a force to be reckoned with. Add this in with the threat of an upcoming fire at the Platt household, it's fair to say Christmas is to build up some extreme pandemonium for this pair. Kate and on Leanne and Nick. Now to keep up with where Nick's heart truly lies, but as Christmas comes, it seems very settled with Toya, but how will that land with her sister and Nick's ex-wife, Leanne? Not well, is the suggestion we got from Kate. Leanne's a Battersby. She's scrappy and she's feisty, and she sees the life that has just been taken away from her. She really wants them to make some pain and intent on getting her own revenge. It can be at the detriment of her own sanity sometimes, but she wants to make them realise what they've done to her. Nick's betrayal is one thing, but the betrayal of her sister is huge. I just love that dynamic between Toya and Leanne, as I think it's fantastic. I remember them coming into the street in Spice Girls era. They barreled on the street like little Sporty Spice and Scary Spice. So tapping into how they were as Battersbys were important, and that all comes to the forefront on Christmas Day and doesn't end well with anyone. And also, with that said, they have talked about a very fucking hell. Apparently, Kate Oates has mentioned a long-term future for Carla and Swain, which is not a surprise. Kay wants to fully play out a relationship for Carla and Lisa. That being 2025 will not be a quiet year for them. Fucking hell, any more? Is there any more news for here? No. Okay. Fine. Alright. There we go. So with all that said, and there's also set to be a fire at the Platt household, which will likely give the repurpose for Carla, Lisa, and probably Betsy eventually to buy the Platt house and to do it up in any way they see fit. I think it's going to be an interesting one to see for sure. That's a lot of exciting Coronation Street Christmas news, some more exciting than the other. But with all that said, thank you for watching the video. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.